This is a live Channels television event.
This is Channels Television. We now go live to Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, for the state government's 2021 Agri-Business Summit. Please stay tuned.
Take your seats. Your Excellency, important dignitaries here seated, diplomats, it is my pleasure to welcome us all specially to the Oyo Agri-Business Summit 2021. Permit me to introduce officially our chief host. I call him the 8th wonder of Oyo State because he's the 8th executive governor of Oyo State. His Excellency, Engineer Sheyi Makinde, FNSC. Round of applause for him, please. I'm pretty sure the Deputy Governor is around here. I've seen him. Please appreciate the Deputy Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency, Engineer Rauf Olaniyan. We have here with us the High Commissioner of Australia to Nigeria, His Excellency, Mr. John Donnelly. He's here with his beautiful wife. Representing the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, we have the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Mohammed Fatih. A round of applause for him, please. We have the Chairman, House Committee on Agric, Honorable Peter Ojedokun, is also here with us. We have the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Honorable Segun Ogunwuyi. The Head of Service, Alhaja Ololade Agbola, is here with us. The representative of the Director General of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, Mr. Segun Awolowo, is ably represented here by Mrs. Bolanle Emmanuel. And the person hosting us in this awesome environment, the Director General, IITA, Dr. Teraya Saginga. A round of applause for him, please. I'm pretty sure I can see the DDG, Dr. Kenton Doshel, right here with us. And Dr. Sonia Danak, representative of the President of the African Development Bank, Dr. Fregene, is the Director of Agric at AFDB. Honorable Commissioner of Agriculture and Rural Development, Honorable Adeniyi Adebisi, is here with us. Permit me to appreciate together Honorable Commissioners here seated. Thank you so much for coming, sir. We have here a senator, former senator, here seated close to the governor, Senator Monsura Sumonu, and former Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly as well. So one more time, please make welcome and appreciate all honorable commissioners here seated. Political appointees, heads of MDAs, permanent secretaries here present, thank you so much, we appreciate you. Your Excellencies, we have MDs and executive directors of banks, major banks here in Nigeria. I'll start with, they always come first, sir. First Bank. Dr. Adeshola Adeduton is right here with us here today. The Executive Director, Fidelity Bank, Dr. Ken Okpara, is also here. The Managing Director, Wema Bank, Mr. Ademola Adebise, is here with us. In due course, we will appreciate every distinguished guest here present. At this juncture, please permit me, Your Excellency, to hand over to Damola for the rest of the program.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to formally welcome you to the Oyo Agri-Business Summit 2021 with the theme, Grow Oyo, Invest in Agriculture. I'd like to make a few announcements as we proceed with today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll appreciate that we adhere strictly with every COVID-19 protocol, ensure that your face mask is on all through the course of today's event, and also ensure that you maintain physical and social distancing, and also ensure that you sanitize as often as you can remember. Ladies and gentlemen, this event started yesterday with an exhibition and continues today and tomorrow. Today, we have a conference and a cocktail networking session where we can rub minds with captains of industries and investors in the course of this program. Ladies and gentlemen, also tomorrow we are going to have a conference, after which we are going to have an awards night and a dinner. We'll appreciate that we attend these events as we proceed. Ladies and gentlemen, I also like to inform us that in case you need anything as we proceed with this event, we have hostesses around to ensure that everybody is properly taken care of. Possibly you want to use the gents or the ladies, or you need anything at all as we proceed, please feel free to call on them. They are at our beck and call to ensure that we are taken care of. Possibly you want to use the gents or the ladies, they are at our beck and call to respond. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very safe environment. However, we have 3 exits in this hall. We have the one that we came in from, and we have one to my left and to my right. Please feel free to ask our hostesses for directions in case you need them. Ladies and gentlemen, after lunch today, a request form is going to be made available to us all to visit the Fashola Agri-Business Industrial Hub, one of 9 that His Excellency the Governor has put in place to ensure that Oyo State is the hub of agribusiness in sub-Saharan Africa. So for those that would like to be a part of this, we'll appreciate that we please fill the request form and submit them immediately to the ushers and the hostesses so that proper arrangements can be made for us to move to that program. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to know that the takeoff time for tomorrow is going to be 2:30 p.m. and it's going to be happening at iHouse Cafeteria IITA. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, every delegate here is going to have a souvenir, and in that souvenir you have a branded cap and a branded t-shirt to ensure that we can wear it during the course of the cocktail program. During the cocktail also, ladies and gentlemen, we understand the fact that His Excellency the Governor has a very busy schedule, but we will appreciate that it's going to be there so that we all can discuss and rub minds on investment opportunities in agriculture here in Oyo State. Ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that we are going to have an amazing time together during the course of this event. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite and welcome Dr. Godwin Asta as he takes over from here. Please put your hands together for him.
Your Excellencies, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Sheyi Makinde, Your Excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps present here, captains of the industry, our own Director General of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, Dr. Nterenya Senginga, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Because of our time, we will try to keep as much as possible to the schedule of the program. It is my pleasure and honor at this point to invite the Director General of the Oyo State Agri-Business Development Agency, Dr. Debo Akande, who has been behind this convening, to come and give us the welcome address. Please, a round of applause to Dr. Debo Akande.
Your Excellency, Engineer Seyi Makinde, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, kindly permit me to stand on all the existing protocol. Distinguished members of this occasion, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a very warm welcome to the maiden edition of the Oyo State Agri-Business Summit 2021. Welcome to Oyo State, the food basket of the southwest of Nigeria. I wish to thank everybody present here today, both physically and virtually, for your participation. Your presence here shows you share a deep interest and commitment to grow Oyo State, and that you have confidence to take up more investment and explore opportunities for partnerships in our agribusiness sector. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to stand before you and to share our vision for the agriculture and agribusiness in Oyo State. But before I go any further, I would like to pay homage to our governor, His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde, whose forward-thinking vision gave back to this summit. At the outset of this administration in 2019, Governor Makinde set out an economical regeneration vision for Oyo State that is aimed on harnessing our natural economical comparative advantage, underpinned by the development of agribusiness, enabling infrastructures and human capacity development. It is obvious that agriculture is woven into the very fabric of our history, and in time past, provided the economical backbone for Oyo State on common exploit as a state of many first and groundbreaking innovations, which handholds the nickname of Nigerian Pacesetter State. Today, while we still retain our status as the Southwest Nigeria agrarian epicenter, our once vibrant agricultural sector is more synonymous with poverty and a lack of opportunity than wealth creation and prosperity. To be clear, ladies and gentlemen, when we speak of our visions for agriculture and agribusiness, we look not to the recapture of old glories from our era of past, but to take a giant leap into an exciting future full of fantastic opportunities in which agribusiness holds the key to prosperity and improved social outcomes. Just consider these numbers. $1 trillion, ladies and gentlemen, is the projected value of African agribusiness market in the coming decade. Throw in the 3.3 trillion market size of the African continental free trade area, you begin to get a picture of what the future holds in store. African population is projected to cross 2.5 billion people in a few decades, within Nigeria accounting for just under a fifth of that number. These people will need food and all the manner of agricultural derived products and services. Nigerian livestock farming and processing market is projected to reach $120 billion in a few years. But will it be with the current livestock practices? Cashew nut processing offer somewhat around $87 million market opportunities. And listen to this, only 10% of the demand for poultry products, a market value of around $4 billion, is currently being met by domestic producers. Farmers' mechanization services, leather processing, industrial aquaculture, animal nutrition and health services, pest control, agro-logistics, over a combined and projected market opportunity topping close to around $40 billion. The opportunities are great, and in Oyo State, investors will find the enabling infrastructures, support and incentives required to exploit them. We have the land. Over 2.2 million hectares of land, of which 85% is arable and suitable for a large-scale farming to meet the need of a growing population and the growing middle class. We have the water, more than 5 beautiful perennial rivers, 15 man-made lakes, and over 20 dams suitable for year-round irrigation, fisheries and industrial aquaculture, which is the fastest growing segment of Nigerian agricultural industry. We have the numbers. A ready-made market and labor pool of 8 million vibrant, talented industrial people, and our strategic location at the heart of Nigerian agribusiness corridor provided easy access to millions of consumers nationwide in West Africa and globally. His Excellency, Governor Seyi Makinde, continues to demonstrate cast-iron determination to implement proactive, business-friendly policies to ensure an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. We also boast Nigeria's most robust agri-food research and development ecosystem, with the presence of several leading national and international research institutes, including Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, National Horticultural Research Institute, Institute of Agricultural Research and Training, and of course, the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, CGIA Nigerian Host Center, whose Director General and my co-boss, Dr. Interior Saginga, will be addressing us very soon. For us in Oyo State, our direction is clear. We will leverage our agricultural comparative advantage, energetic youths, talented workforce, and strategic location as a pathway to millions of consumers in domestic and regional markets to become sub-Saharan African hub agribusiness as Oyo State. That is why the Oyo State government, under the leadership of His Excellency, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has embarked on a vigorous course of game-changing infrastructural development to boost the investment profile of the state, enhance the competitiveness of our agribusiness sector, and advance a manufacturing and industrial base for Oyo State. This ultra-secured, game-changing industrial infrastructure will offer dedicated crop production, livestock ranching and processing facilities, and combine different agro-production chains, thus maximizing operational synergy, economic of scale, and income generation activities for investors and host communities. These projects have been carefully designed to align with the 156-kilometer rail project linking Ibadan to Nigeria commercial capital Lagos. Once the Kano leg of the rail line is operational, Oyo State will sit right in the sweet spot connecting the biggest market in the northern and southern Nigeria. Detail around most of these projects that will be implemented will be part of our discussion during this summit. Some of you will also be touring the Fashola Agribusiness Industrial Hub as it is currently, a facility that is being developed to ensure that we move towards industrial agriculture within our state. This may sound like a boast, but it is really a fact. There is no other state in Nigeria with the varieties of options, business enabling infrastructures, policy, incentives, and reservoir of investment opportunity comparable to Oyo State. The summit over the next 2 days will explore a carefully curated agenda that asks and answers all the right questions and mark the start of a journey that will hopefully lead us towards a more profitable agro-industrial development across Oyo State. Our brilliant speakers and panelists of solution providers will share their insights and action plans that will change old concepts and provide you with the tools needed to implement successful change and achieve unmatched profitability. I am excited about the outcome of this summit and look forward with great anticipation to the 2 days of impactful deliberation, partnership building, deal making, and investment transaction. I thank you all and welcome to the Oyo State Agri-Business Summit 2001. Thank you very much.
A round of applause again to the Director General of OISADA, Dr. Debo Akande. He reminded us that the name Peseta State given to Oyo State is not by accident. We have over 2.2 million hectares of land for agriculture. We have the water, we have the climate, but more importantly, he reminded us that the youth in Oyo State are very agile, they're very young and excited to take agriculture as business. Thank you so much, Dr. Debo Akande, for sharing your thoughts, your vision, the vision of the state, the vision of His Excellency to this very important audience. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me invite His Excellency, the Ambassador, His Excellency, the Ambassador, the High Commissioner of Australia to Nigeria, Mr. John Donnelly, to come to the podium for his remarks, his goodwill message, actually. A round of applause to him, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you and good morning. Your Excellency the Governor, Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, honoured guests and other visitors here these 2 days for the Agribusiness Summit. All protocols observed. I might begin by just explaining what a High Commissioner is. We're basically an ambassador in a Commonwealth country, and the Commonwealth is 55 countries, including Nigeria. So while we say we're High Commissioners, we're actually ambassadors as well. I'd like to extend my appreciation for the kind invitation to participate in this prestigious event, the Oyo State Agri-Business Summit, and the opportunity to deliver goodwill remarks alongside colleagues from France and the Netherlands. Agriculture is one of the most important sectors in Australia. Australia is the 6th largest producer of food in the world. We grow enough food to feed 3 times our population, the bulk of which is exported. And agriculture runs a wide range of products, including great agricultural value-added products such as wine. And Australia is the 4th largest exporter of wine by value in the world, behind only France, Italy and Spain. The Australian agriculture sector is very diverse, from bulk grains and sustainable beef, through to our seafood industry and our amazing wine industry. Our continent is overflowing with high-quality agricultural products, which draw on the latest technology to drive their businesses. The summit is timely, and my congratulations to Oyo State for this initiative. Agriculture remains a major employer in Nigeria, and food diversity and food security remains a major issue. Agriculture and agribusiness together account for nearly half of GDP in Africa, and as my colleague Dede said, are projected to be $1 trillion industry in sub-Saharan Africa by 2030. So it's no surprise that the potential for agriculture to drive further growth and development is a point of serious discussion. Strengthening the agricultural sector and developing the agricultural value chain has great potential for Oyo State and, by extension, Nigeria. It would bring about not only food security and economic development, but also create a model of socially inclusive economic growth. And Oyo State does have a comparative advantage in agriculture and agribusiness. With diverse agricultural production across many crops and livestock, a farming population of over 415,000 families, delivering at scale, and Ibadan being home, as others have said already, to several leading agricultural centres in Nigeria, such as the IITA where we are today. It's my expectation that the brilliant minds and experts at this summit will, over the next 2 days, explore communication strategies and commercialisation strategies that will add value and facilitate market access for farmers and small-scale enterprises. This is an area which Australia has expertise in and can share. Our approach to agribusiness achieves scale and provides food to a large population. We've invested for decades in better crops, exported these commercially and for development through the ACIAR, the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, and are starting to work with the IITA on crops in a climate change-affected environment. Our capabilities in research and innovative technologies to boost our agricultural sector has made us a hub for ag tech and agri-tech, with food tech and biotechnology, farm management software, as well as supply and value chain systems. Here in Nigeria, my team at the Australian High Commission are working to promote opportunities for collaboration between Australian and Nigerian companies through our Digital Bridge series that focuses on diverse aspects of technology. We provide a platform for knowledge sharing and exposure. And I'm pleased to announce that in the coming year we'll be organising an ag tech-focused webinar to showcase better business opportunities for ag tech in Australia and Nigeria. It's my hope that through this platform, significant collaborations will be launched, as has been the case with our fintech engagements. In closing, I thank you for your time this morning. I look forward to hearing about other opportunities that exist for agribusiness in the state, as well as seeing all the exhibitions that are showcased. Thank you.
A round of applause again to the High Commissioner to Australia to Nigeria. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are going to listen to His Excellency the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, but this is going to be streamed, so the tech team, please can you bring him on so that we can all view his remarks, his goodwill message.
Yes. It is a great pleasure for me to attend the opening of the Oyo Agri-Business Summit 2021, even though I would have very much preferred to be there in person with all of you. As you may know, I indeed have to present my credentials before traveling. I am very proud that France is amongst the official partner countries of this first edition of the Oyo Agri-Business Summit, and I wish to thank His Excellency Governor Makinde for the invitation. We were together in Paris on October 4th for a series of meetings, and I had then the opportunity to express to His Excellency my willingness to come to Oyo as soon as possible. I, of course, intend to keep my promise. I know Oyo has strong ties with the French embassy and the French government in many areas, and I wish these ties strengthen in agriculture, agribusiness, rural development, technical and higher education, research, health, and many more. The state has also emerged as one of Nigeria's leading agribusiness hubs in a time when developing the agribusiness framework to create jobs and ensure food safety is a priority. We believe this can only be achieved in the context of public-private and development partnerships. The French private sector is, in coordination with the embassy and with the assistance of Business France, very eager to engage with Nigerian private sector and investors in a win-win relationship. The purpose of the recent meeting chaired by His Excellency Mr. Franck Riester, French Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Attractiveness, on October 4th in Paris. A dozen French entrepreneurs from the agriculture and sustainable development sectors were invited to introduce in front of the delegation of Nigerian officials their current or future activities in Nigeria. Irrigation, banana, and pineapple value chain, solar and wind energy, cold chain, agroforestry, bamboo valorization, urban lighting, and waste to energy processing. The French entrepreneurs were immediately approached by Nigerian officials for further B2B exchanges, which is very positive. In agriculture and agribusiness, France has a lot to offer, as it is world's leading exporter of agricultural seeds, potato, and natural mineral water. France is also the first European producer of cereals, oil seeds, agricultural seeds, eggs, and beef and veal, with the greatest cattle breeds diversity in the world. It is second in Europe for agriculture and the third European manufacturer of chocolate products, the third largest poultry producer in Europe, and finally, the fourth European producer of fruit and vegetables. On top of all of this, France has a remarkably complete system of agricultural education that is under the umbrella of the Ministry of Agriculture, which is responsible for the pedagogical orientations and educational activity of all public and private institutions. It covers technical, secondary, and higher education in agronomy, agriculture, forestry, horticulture, environment, and veterinary medicine. Now, Oyo State, together with Kaduna State and the IITA, are committed with the French Embassy in the Sifen Swiem project called Support to Women Entrepreneurship in the Agri-Food Sector in Nigeria, with the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs as its main donor. The project's goal is to extend skills development of rural women, to enhance their inclusion in markets network, for them to become agripreneurs and job creators. It started in Oyo and Cassava, all over the country. I look very much forward to seeing this kind of projects increase and the network of partnerships and exchange of ideas between our two countries grow even stronger. Be assured I am fully committed to play a part in the development of our bilateral relations. Thanks again to His Excellency Governor Makinde for making possible this fruitful partnership. I do hope next time I will be able to be there with you in person. Thank you very much for your attention and best wishes for the success of this summit.
That was the That was the French ambassador to Nigeria, Emmanuel Blackman. The few things that I was able to gather from her presentation was she reminded the audience of her encounter, of French government encounter or partnership with the state, and also the recent meeting in France. And then she emphasized the strategic position of agribusiness to Nigeria's development, and also mentioned about the project that the French embassy in Nigeria is implementing with IITA and Oyo State. In fact, the project targeting Oyo women in order to empower them in agribusiness through training, and promise that more of these are going to come as both the state and the embassy and the government of France work together. Those are some of the points I was able to capture. I'm sure that we will, during the final report, we will share with you all that she mentioned in her presentation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we like to invite my colleague, Damola, to come and invite the other guests. Where is Damola? Is he around? Yeah, Damola, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for that. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to respectfully invite and welcome one of our major sponsors. Is going to come forward at this time to speak. Please put your hands together for the CEO Wema Bank, Mr. Ademola Adebishi, for his goodwill message. Please put your hands together for him.
Good morning, Your Excellency, Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, members of the diplomatic community, hosts, the DG, Dr. Deraya Seginga, DG of IITA. Permit me to stand on all existing protocols. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to this maiden Oyo State Agribusiness Summit. I would like to say a big thank you to the hosts, His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde, and the organizing committee led by Dr. Debo Akande for putting such a revolutionary event at a time like this together. I've come to understand clearly that the summit is focused on creating a framework through which investments in agribusiness will help address the issues negatively impacting agriculture within the state and beyond. Agriculture is a common thread that holds the 17 Sustainable Development Goals together, and this summit serves as a platform for policy dialogue between the states and the wider community of stakeholders working together to achieve sustainable goals. Ladies and gentlemen, these are two major areas that I must say inspires our activity today. First is the focus on the initiative. Nigeria's agricultural sector provides an estimated 60% of jobs across the nation, a dynamic that is mirrored in many, many other states. And Oyo State is no exception. Agriculture is currently the main contributor of Oyo State's economy, contributing over 38% of the gross state products, and directly and indirectly employing as much as 70% of the workforce. It is therefore unsurprising that the agriculture sector is one of the key priorities of the Oyo restoration transformation, reposition agenda, and the economic development programs of the states. Secondly, the comprehensive approach to these summits. The organizers have worked very, very tirelessly. A comprehensive approach has been put in place to achieve the goals of this summit. The major agribusinesses within the states are involved in the summit, and agribusiness technology, social and financial innovations will be showcased. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's summit, which is themed Oyo, Grow Oyo, Invest in Agriculture, is in line with the current administration's vision geared towards changing agricultural landscape of the states to become the agribusiness hub of Nigeria. The summit is only the beginning of a process, the start of a journey that will hopefully lead us towards more solid foundations, greater excellence and innovation, more equity and inclusion, and heightened interaction between the investors, producers, and the agribusinesses. Dear participants, this summit promises to provide opportunities to organizations and institutions that have chosen to partner with the states to build an enabling environment for agribusiness expansion within the states, while also building capacity of the ministries, departments, and agencies to effectively engage with private sector partners. Apart from this, the summit will also provide a platform for supporting inclusion of the small and medium-scale farmers, youth-focused businesses, business startups, and small and rural food enterprises. In addition, the summit will aid the development of public-private partnership or public-private producer partnerships that will bring together producers, agribusinesses, government, and the civil society players. Finally, I must emphasize that Wema Bank has been a partner to this state since the days of the old western region of Nigeria. We have been consistent in supporting the people and government of Oyo State, and we will continue to do so. We will ensure that we are a key part of this agri-business initiative in every way possible, because the success of the states is our success. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring my opening speech to a close by pointing out that we are all here because we all have the same passion, a passionate desire to aid the growth and development of Oyo State and Nigeria as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Can we please put our hands together for Mr. Ademola Adebisi, the CEO, Wema Bank. Thank you. Also, to give a goodwill message, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to respectfully invite and welcome the GMD First Bank. Please put your hands together for Dr. Adeshola Kazim at Debuto. Can we please put our hands together for him as he comes forward to speak at this time? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Governor Sheyi Makinde, my dear brother, members of the State Executive Council, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished invitees, and my colleagues in the banking sector. On behalf of the board of First Bank, it gives me great pleasure to be at this maiden Agri-Business Summit of our dear state, Oyo State, with the theme, Grow Oyo. Agriculture and agribusiness have the potential to propel Nigeria's economy into its next growth phase, when the immense population and opportunity that exists across the entire value chain and the different segments of Nigeria are effectively harnessed. Oyo State, under the able leadership of Governor Seyi Makinde has remained the pace-setter state in extracting value from the agricultural sector by boosting productivity and efficiency of activities across the value chain through several ongoing initiatives and policy implementation. And I can say this because we've been involved as a bank in supporting the Oyo State government in its agricultural initiatives. This summit that brings leading players in the agribusiness space to share knowledge about the current state of agribusiness and provide insight into the abundant opportunities in the agriculture, evaluate structural and policy gaps, develop rural holistic development plan for the state, showcase the potential agribusiness technology, social and financial innovation available is yet another first and a laudable initiative of the current Oyo State government. His Excellency's objective for agriculture and agribusiness to drive economic growth and regeneration by linking agriculture with industry, human capital, manufacturing, and processing capability to achieve strong and sustainable economic development, improve social outcomes and wealth creation is highly commendable and clearly a step in the right direction. As always, our bank, First Bank, will continue to support the Oyo State government and its agency to achieve this objective. For over 127 years, we have demonstrated our commitment to agricultural financing by making it a major strategic focus of our business as we continue to enable farmers and agro-businesses across the length and breadth of Nigeria and in other African countries where we have our footprint firmly established. We as a bank have a large base of SME and corporate agribusiness clients across Nigeria, operating in all segments, covering primary production, storage, processing, packaging, and agro-export. So we can proudly say that we are providing services across the value chain of the agricultural industry. Under the Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme of the Central Bank and Federal Government, initiative designed to provide long-tenured credit facilities to commercial agriculture enterprise at single-digit interest rate. Our bank, First Bank, has supported 118 projects, about 23% out of a total of 509 projects supported by all the banks in Nigeria, put together, and we disbursed over 100 billion naira under this particular initiative. The project spread across input supplies, primary production, processing, and marketing. Obligors include small, medium, and large-scale enterprise in the agricultural value chain. Henry Roosevelt once said, and I quote, "It's clear that agriculture, done right, is the best means the world has today to simultaneously tackle food security, poverty, and environmental degradation." Once again, on behalf of our bank, I want to appreciate His Excellency, Governor Seyi Makinde, on all the pace-setting initiatives that is being implemented, and to assure that our bank will always be by your side to provide the required support that is required. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adeshola Kazeem Adedoton, the First Bank GMD. Thank you very much, sir. Also to speak at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to respectfully invite and welcome the GMD United Bank for Africa, Mr. Kennedy Uzoka, who is well represented by the Directorate Head, Southwest UBA. Please put your hands together for Mr. Bolaji Dari. Can we please put our hands together for him as he comes forward to speak on behalf of the GMD. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde. Can I stand on the existing protocol? On behalf of the Group Managing Director of United Bank for Africa, Mr. Kennedy Uzoka, who is unavoidably absent, he has sent his apology and is also going to talk to you personally. And the entire staff of United Bank for Africa, I'm delighted to many others in Nigeria around the world to congratulate the Executive Governor of Oyo State and his team on the occasion of this maiden edition of Oyo State Agri-Summit. Agriculture as an indigenous occupation in Nigeria has gone through various phases of development. This development is an effect of government policies and state approach to agriculture, which is either the main or heightens the impact of the sector in the nation. According to the Central Bank of Nigeria in 2016, the sector in the Constitution, in 1960, contributed 85% of the Nigerian foreign exchange earnings, 90% employment generation. Available data also confirms at independence in 1960, the contribution of agriculture to the GDP was 80%, which is typical for a developing agrarian nation. It's obvious the state under the leadership of Engineer Oluseyi Makinde has taken the right path by choosing agribusiness as one of the key economic development areas of the government in achieving their planned development. Because it's only a strong and efficient agricultural sector that can feed the growing population of a country, provide employment, play a vital role in the foreign trade and earnings of foreign exchange, and give a strong base to the industries. My message will not be complete without congratulating His Excellency on his efforts in transforming the state by adopting the 4 pillars of development, among which are agriculture, food security, education, and health sector. The bold step taken today will not be forgotten easily in the annals of the states. This should be sustained. I hereby assure you of our continuous support in all areas of developmental programs of your administration. It is our wish that Oyo State in no time will become the food basket of the nation and a major foreign exchange earner. Long live Oyo State, long live Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bolaji Dari, for that remark. Ladies and gentlemen, I also like to invite at this time the CEO of Fidelity Bank, Mrs. Nneka Onyali-Ikpe, who is well represented by the Executive Director of Fidelity Bank. Please put your hands together for Dr. Ken Okpara. Can you please put your hands together for him? Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to write on existing protocol. Let me start by sending an apology of the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Fidelity Bank. She's currently out of the country on an official assignment. She would have loved to be here personally because of the importance she attaches to this. But she has asked me to deliver this goodwill message. On behalf of the board and management of Fidelity Bank PLC, I wish to say that we are quite delighted to be part of this epoch event of Oyo State. Oyo State, led by very dynamic and hardworking Governor Seyi Makinde, is on the verge of a whole new, exciting agri-business revolution. As comparative advantages go, Oyo State, for reason of ecology and market access, is one of the most naturally endowed states in Southwest. Let me also mention in the country today. This makes the journey that the state have embarked upon an exciting one. One of the critical questions which I hope this summit will address is how the state will position to attract new investment in the agribusiness space. As flow of capital and enterprises become freer, investment promotion and protection will become key in attracting new investment into the state. A government-driven targeted infrastructure development will help to achieve the development of a holistic agribusiness ecosystem, leading to enhanced value chain, more SMEs inclusion, and enhanced value addition. To this end, the state government, I expect, will be with federal government and private sector in setting up of what we call special economic zones and industrial trade clusters to significantly reduce the cost of doing business for MSMEs via shared infrastructural platforms. And this obviously will help to scale the economy. These projects can be structured as physical neutral projects via private sector partnership. It's also critical to have strategic transportation infrastructure and linkages like the rail, the road, between the commodity producing clusters, the manufacturing clusters, and of course the sea and the land ports. Other levers that would drive enhanced competitiveness of the state are security of lives and property, improvement in ease of doing business, creative financing solution targeted at business ecosystems, clusters and value chain, and human capital development that will help small businesses and other sectors of the economy scale their business for management capability. Is of a heavy lifting, Your Excellency, but you can count on the support of Fidelity Bank to go on this journey with you. Our intervention footprint in the agri space are expansive and cut across several value chains of the agricultural sector, like the rice, the oil palm production, the dairy, the poultry, the agro-commodity exports. Fidelity has consistently supported the key and strategic players in the sector by leveraging on our top leadership position in the agri space to offer free advisory services to those players in this area. Leveraging our strategic partnership with development institutions like CBN under the various industry targeted intervention funding program, all basically to enhance access to credit to eligible players in the area. Our engagement in the agri space have not only helped to narrow the food security gaps, but have also helped in the areas of employment generation and then, of course, foreign exchange earning for the country. We have also worked with state governments under the various intervention funding program of the CBN to enhance funding access to smallholder farmers of the state and local government area. We are quite excited about the opportunities and the collaboration we have with Oyo State government, especially in the areas of this Anchor Borrower scheme, which we hope will be able to help and build the anchor farmers as much as possible. On the private sector side, we continue to aggressively pursue effective collaboration with corporate customers in the food processing space to drive enhanced participation in the agri space. Your Excellency, I wish you fruitful deliberation and, most importantly, actionable follow-through to bring the wonderful ideas that I'm sure will come out of this laudable engagement to life. Your Excellency, be assured that Fidelity Bank is very much ready to support you in driving the changes and innovation that you are championing in this space. In your hands, Oyo State future is very, very bright. Thank you. God bless Oyo State. God bless Nigeria.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please can we give a warm round of applause to all the presenters from the financial institutions, please. And this is very significant for several reasons, but I will just mention one. It's usually difficult to see the participation of financial institutions in programs like this. But for your participation, taking time to come for this program, shows the commitment and the appreciation that you have towards agribusiness. Let me thank the Director General for Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency for pulling all these resource persons to this very important event. Thank you so much, sir. Next on the agenda is going to be the opening remarks by someone who has, in the space of agriculture, been able to transform a lot in the space of agriculture. Someone who championed the program for the youth, brought it to the front burner, started in Oyo State here as a pace setter, and today that program throughout the whole of Africa is resonating, giving jobs to young people. Today, I am pleased to inform the gathering that the African Development Bank has adopted the Youth in Agribusiness initiative that actually started here in Oyo State on the campus of IITA as a Pan-African program that is impacting a lot on the lives of young people on the continent. I am talking about someone, the Director General of the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, Dr. Nterenya Sanginga. Please can we give him a round of applause as he comes to give the opening remarks. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Your Excellency, the people from Fashola asked me to come and say thank you. You wonder probably why. So last Sunday, as I do, I go to Fashola. Fashola is my village. And if you like to know, I've spent 27 years here in Nigeria. I'm from Congo. And I've adopted Fashola as my village. And, and the reason is, Excellency, last year we went to Fashola and we're launching a grammar school program, and we invited the governor to come and see what we're doing there. And he made a promise to the people of Fashola in Oyo. When you leave Oyo town and you go to Fashola, around Isenyi, the road was terrible. Takes 1 hour to go there, and you pity your car. Last Sunday, I was there. It took me 20 minutes instead of 1 hour. Excellency, I was proud of you because politicians made a lot of promises, and sometimes difficult to see. And yeah, so today I would like to share an experience about how we've been engaging the youth, and you'll see the reason why. Yeah, who's moving the slide? Next. Next slide, please. Buenga. No. Can you go back? This is going to be a very important graph. I think I would like to pay a lot of attention to this. Okay, so Nigeria is spending $11 billion importing food. And strange enough, importing what we can produce locally here. Take rice. Just take that an example of rice. We import rice from Thailand. What it means is that we are creating jobs in Thailand. That's what it means. Now, the unemployment rate for the youth here in Nigeria is around 60%. If you do a very simple calculation, 11 billion, and you take a youth whom you pay $1,000 per month, you can create 1 million jobs per year. But the 1 million jobs, we are creating it in Thailand, in some other places. And we made the calculation, very simple. If you use that logic, basically you can reduce the unemployment rate from 60% to 7% after probably 10 years. 60 to 7. This is very simple. And when you compare to some of the developed nations like the US, job creation is what keeps the politicians, that's what they promise. So we have all this possibility to do this. Next. Next slide. So this is what happened in 2011 in Nigeria. You see the stadium of Abuja. You remember the stampede of the youth in Abuja. 1 million jobs of the youth apply for 5,000 immigration jobs. 20 young people died. That was a very sad story. Here at IITA, the same year, 4 months after that death, a famous Monday, I was driving around, and at the gate at IITA, there was almost 500 young people fighting with the police. I was wondering, why are they fighting? I went there, trying to see. And this is young people, and I started interviewing them. I spent 3 hours interviewing those young people. And I was asking them a simple question. what are you coming to do here? Who are you? Where are you coming from? And the answer was, yes, I'm from Oyo, Ekiti State. I finished the University of Ibadan, Ife. I studied mass communication, engineering, doctor. And what are you coming to do here? Oh, I'm coming for a casual work. Casual work means at ITA, working in a cassava field, weeding or painting and so on. Those are the graduates basically we're producing. No job fighting outside. And I decided that we have to do something for these young people. Next. I took a sample of 60 among them. I took them to my boardroom, and I made sure that I have parity, 50% young people, 50% women and men. And I said, well, you studied engineering, you studied medicine, you don't have a job, maybe agriculture could be a job for you, the 60. And I asked them, define agriculture for me. As the definition of those young people were very, very simple. 3 words. It was pain, penury, and poverty. That was the definition of agriculture for them. Agriculture for them, and you remember very well, when you were in secondary school, when you have to be punished, most of the time they will go and go in the field. And so the notion that agriculture could be a value chain, could be food, just like Debo said, the value chain, the amount of money in the future in agriculture in Africa is going to be $1 trillion. So I explained to them that agriculture could be logistics, could be transportation, and give you a good example of what agriculture, soybean is in the US, for example. Okay. So these young people, I want to make sure that they understand what I was just saying. And I said, okay, we're going to start this program. I'm going to feed you. There is no salary, because I knew in the month we're in ITA, we're going to getting salary here. After 3 months, there were 60. Half of them ran away. And I remained with these young people. Just to give you an example of these 3 young people. These young people, they created a company called Fruitery. That 3. I gave them $5,000 as a startup capital. Of course, you can see this graph. All the people who do business know that they have to invest. They don't anything, and that's the moment they can get discouraged, but they didn't. These young people today, they own a factory making fish feed. They're exporting feed, catfish, smoked, to US and Canada. As a matter of fact, my wife, when she goes to Canada, she takes probably bags and bags of fish for these young people. So, next. As Adsher said, Dr. Desina came here to examine this program. We started in Oyo. And basically, the African Development Bank adopted it. And we've taken it now in almost 24 countries in Africa, and countries are taking loan basically to support the youth. And I have to tell you as well, as an example in Fashola, when I was doing my PhD field work, I was in Fashola. At that moment, young people were in a village, and the people were very healthy in that area. But today, when you go to Fashola, you find only grandparents and small kids. There are no young people anymore in Fashola. So agriculture is left to the people who do not have energy anymore. And as President Obasanjo usually tells me, the youngest farmer in his village is his brother. And his brother is 73 years old. Right. So we have to do something. Next, please. So because of this program, ITA got an award, the African Food Prize Award in 2018. And I went to Kigali to collect the prize. It was $100,000. that we got. And I promised during that award that I was going to dedicate that $100,000 to create another program, this time for the children in a secondary school. And the reason was very, very simple. The graduates we had in the program of the youth, they are from different disciplines, and they pick agriculture just because of opportunity. But the mindset has never been prepared, basically, to do agriculture. And we thought that introducing this program in a secondary school, that mindset will grow, and probably in 20 years, these people are going to be what we are looking for, the people who do agriculture as business and they believe in it. So we started this program with these young people. You see the STEP program, and I'm going to show how Oyo State intervened in it. Next, please. So this program was based on making agriculture sexy. You have to introduce the value addition in agriculture. And it's really quite interesting. You're even fashola. You ask a young person, how is the donut made? No. The young person will eat donut, but doesn't know that it comes from cassava, the way it's even made. The parent make it. Ask about sausage, you won't even know. They don't know how is that made. So the value chain was very important, a small-scale mechanization, and especially the ICT element in it. Next. It was very important that we change the mindset of the teachers as well, because for this program to be sustainable, the teachers have to adopt it as well. Next. So, Fashola, as I said, is my village. And I had to choose a place where to start this program with $100,000 we got. So, of course, I went home. I went to Fashola, and I picked one grammar school. And this grammar school, see on the left before rehabilitation how it was. Even yourself, you have a school like that, how can you motivate even children to study there? The lab non-existent. You find products which were never used for 25 years, negligence. You ask the teachers, the whole school doesn't have even a toilet or a computer. So we rehabilitated it. And basically, I'm going to explain what we did, ICT with transformation. And we start engaging those young people for about 6 months. And the results were quite interesting. See, for example, the knowledge of ICT in Fashola School. Before that program, it was around 10%. And after 6 months, the knowledge of those young people on computer was 70%. Can you imagine that? They didn't know anything about agribusiness. It can be a career. Was almost 10% when we started. But after 6 months, these young people, they were making even marketing of their products on computer, themselves doing advert there in the village of Fashola. Right? Next. So I was so proud of that program. I invited Our Excellency, the Governor, to come and see that program. And I was so pleased that he accepted that appointment. And we went together. And we basically, that was in July, and basically he made a speech. And during this speech, what I retained was he said, this is a wake-up call for Oyo State. And we are seeing that today. So he decided, based on that program, to create a program of steps that start them early across 6 agroecological zones here in Oyo State. Next. So basically, the governor decided that we're going to start those programs in those areas that you see there. Next. And one thing which I noticed from his administration, usually, and you know how it goes. I will talk about my country. So you give money in my country, Congo. Kinshasa, probably 70% of that money goes for corruption. It goes for corruption. I think the story is the same here because I'm from here too. And I'm presenting this graph because the governor gave us money and made an agreement where the project activities have to be clearly defined, the task, and the time frame. And we had to respect that frame. Please, next. So this is how much the governor invested. And I have to say, this was the first time a state gives money to IITA for a project in all Nigeria for the 50. And he gave us 1 million, let me put it in Naira, 800 million Naira cash. And we have to account for that money. By the way, during that visit, when we were taking him around, he looked at some benches which were bought, and I saw him calling his commissioner of agriculture or of education, and he was asking him some question. I didn't know what he was asking, but I was guessing that he must be giving him some punches. So what we did with that money, and we went and started rehabilitating schools in those 6 areas. I'll just give you an example. In the Methodist school here in Ibadan here, see before and after the project we had. I'll tell you, this lab here, see how it was abandoned completely. You can't teach there. You can, the only thing you do is cry for the children. We're going to, but now they have this lab. This lab is those young people that are making sanitizer. They are making soaps with the chemistry. And I went to take some pictures, the Mount Plantation and the University of Ibadan, similar lab. This is much better than even a university lab. Next. See, just compare. Here in Methodist school, here they had a fish pond, for example, and then the training. That's what you find there when we came. But with the support we gave, they are selling now fish that they are producing in their own school because of that, and they are selling the fish to the children. Next. Here we are in Iresadu. See how the buildings were before this project and how they are. And even morally, when you see something like this in a country like Nigeria, really, what else can I say? And it's not only Nigeria, it's in DRC as well and so on. Next. And again, that's again in, so it's almost common. All over the place you find things like this. Small improvement, you basically can make it. Next, please. Yeah, that's examples again in the different places. Just to tell you, it didn't happen only in one school, it's happening in the 6th school. Next. So basically, to summarize, we've trained these 5,000 the children, and 55% of them we realize that female are more engaged. And more importantly, these young people in Fashola, chicken that I eat in my house now come from Fashola, from that school. Cucumber is coming from that school, and yes, last Sunday, every time when I go there, I come with eggs and so on, being sold by those children. It's their business. And interestingly enough, last Sunday when I was there, I met 2 young teachers. In that school, when we started, all the teachers were quite old. But today we have young teachers. On Sunday afternoon they were working there. And one of them told me that she fought. Once she visited Fashola and she saw the facilities, she refused to come and teach here in Ibadan in town, and she preferred to go in Fashola and work there. Next. So I'm going to finish by saying the governor here has invested in phase 1 and phase 2, and I'm saying gives cash money to rehabilitate those schools and get those programs. Now guessing, in Oyo State you have 629 schools. We can rehabilitate all those schools. Excellency, I've been in Nigeria for 27 years, and the person people talk about is a lot in terms of legacy is Awolowo. And when you try to find out what is the legacy about is education. Excellency, think about your legacy. It could be this program or STEP. And the STEP is not only about agriculture, it's really transforming the future of Nigeria and the future of Africa. Because if we can't have food security, and even in terms of security, purely military security, if you can't import food from Thailand, for example, and so on, yeah, people die with hunger, and then those revolts we start and so on. So really, and to do that is only $170 million. You can do that in 5 years. That's $30 million per year. This institution here, IITA, our budget, total budget for the whole continent is around 120 million per year. And this is coming from donors. I could imagine, basically, that the state of Oyo can invest in this. It would be so good for families, it would be so good for the country, and your legacy, you never die, like people say. It's very, very important. Lastly, talking about the legacy, I'm thinking about my legacy as well. And I'm so happy that the governor and my friend Adesina, and with the support of the president of DRC and the president of Obasanjo, we notice that the leadership in agriculture is lacking, completely lacking. So, an example, our last minister of agriculture here, I think he was an accountant. And yes, 10 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 8 years ago, when the minister Adesina, who had transformed the agriculture completely here, and we're really moving forward, but he was succeeded by the ministers to whom agriculture was politics and nothing else. And we've gone back completely, re-importing rice and so on. So this leadership institute basically is not going to be only about Nigeria, it's going to be about the whole continent if we want to reach the $1 trillion we are really talking about. And I count on you, Excellency, to support this vision and to support this institute, because it's going to be extremely important for our continent. Thank you very much.
A round of applause once again to the Director General of IITA, Dr. Ntere Sanginga, who has shown us in practical terms how His Excellency is a man of his words, he keeps to his words, and the transformation that is happening in Oyo State. It is not rhetoric, he has confirmed it from the partnership with IITN. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have a challenge of time because this program is being streamed live from several media, including channels, and we have about 30 minutes left. With that, okay, I'm told that it has been increased. Thank you, and thanks to channels for that and everyone behind the scene that has made that possible. Let me invite the chairman of the Hares Holdings, Mr. Tony Elumelu, who will speak to us. He's going to give us the keynote address. We are going to have it on Zoom. We hope that the technology this time around will be much more friendly to all of us. The tech team, please.
Okay. Good morning, all. Chief host and my dear friend, His Excellency Governor K.E. Makinde, Your Excellency, the Ambassador from France, and the High Commissioner of Australia, our distinguished private sector leaders gathered here today. I've seen my friend, Doctor of the CEO of Postbank, and also the CEO of Wema Bank, and the Executive Director of Fidelity, and of course the United Bank for Africa representative there. Our friends in the media, academia, and civil society. All the young, hardworking, enterprising agripreneurs here with us today, I say welcome to you all. We are convened this morning to discuss Governor Makinde's vision of an Oyo State transform our agricultural landscape to become the agribusiness hub of Nigeria. I would like for us to go one step further. I'd like for us to go one step further. The dream should extend beyond building the agribusiness hub of Nigeria, but of Africa. Similar to what Silicon Valley is to North America in technology, Oyo State should be to Africa the beacon and leading entity in agriculture. Agriculture is critical for Africa's development for two main reasons. One, it is our continent's largest employer of labor, also employing more women than any other sector. Two, the economic growth the agricultural sector generates is inclusive, broad-based, and effective in creating a multiplier effect that helps lift families and communities out of poverty. Investment in agriculture is a direct investment in poverty eradication and job creation. This is why at the the leading philanthropy empowering young African entrepreneurs from all 54 African countries we prioritize the agriculture sector. Out of the over 10,000 young Nigerians and Africans that we have empowered through our non-refundable seed capital of $5,000 per beneficiary, more than a third of these beneficiaries are agri-business ventures. Agriculture consistently ranks in the top 3 of sectors our entrepreneurs venture into. Through the Tony Elmelu Foundation Entrepreneurship Program, we have empowered 158 people for your even more impressive and relevant to today is that 48 of these entrepreneurs accounted for nearly a third of the total number of the states have business empowered even more impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just go straight to the point and say that my message to you all of us today is simple. One, agriculture is central for our development as a continent, as a country, as a people. What you are doing in your state is commendable, Your Excellency, and worthy of emulation by others. Our group, from the United Bank for Africa, UBA, Transcorp PLC, to the Tony Elumelu Foundation, are with you on this journey. We remain ready to support the scaling up of agri-businesses in Oyo State and the rest of Nigeria. The United Bank for Africa supports millions of small and medium-scale businesses across Africa, and also support governments to realize the aspirations of our young ones. Transcorp PLC is exploring massive investment in the agricultural space, and Oyo State, of course, is one of the states in consideration. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy and proud of what His Excellency is doing through this program, and personally and on behalf of the companies that we are associated with, we're there to support His Excellency, because we can't in the 21st century talk of developing our country or our state without focusing on employment, without including our women and our young ones in that journey. And we have seen that agriculture holds the greatest promise to that future. So, Your Excellency, congratulations, well done, count on me as usual. Good luck and good deliberation. Bye-bye.
Your Excellencies, we apologize for the mix-up in transmission from the chairman of the Heirs Holding, Mr. Tony Elumelu. Actually, I am told this is as a result of noise from the source, and we are going to share his speech with all of us. Let me, at this point, invite the Director for Agric and Agro-Allied Sector at the African Development Bank, Dr. Martin Fregene, who is actually representing the President of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, for the keynote. A round of applause to him, please.
Your Excellency, Governor Engineer Oluseyi Makinde, Director General IITA, Ambassador of Australia, allow me to stand on the rest on the remaining existing protocols. I bring you warm greetings from your friend and brother, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, who is also a tenant of the good people of Oyo State. His house is here in Ibadan. So there's no way he can not afford to come, but unfortunately he's not available for today. Your Excellency, you may not remember, but I first met you on a boat. Not a boat in Nigeria. I know your wife is from River State, and I know my own wife is from Bayelsa. They're riverine people, but not that kind of boat. We first met on a boat on Lake Kivu, Bukavu, when we were going to Kalambo for the launch of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo IIT Research Center. I recall you told me of the simple reforms you had carried out in Oyo State that had far-reaching impacts on the economy of Ibadan and Oyo State in general. I left that meeting deeply impressed and very hopeful that Nigeria has last found a generation of leaders with a heart for the common man. Congratulations, Your Excellency. I'm delighted today to join this distinguished gathering on yet another groundbreaking initiative of yours to turn Oyo State into the modern agribusiness hub of Nigeria. Your Excellency, there are many good reasons for that. Number one, Oyo State is the state with the largest arable area of land closest to Lagos. And you know Lagos is the nerve center of Nigeria's economy. It's 21 million people, a food market of 21 million people. Oyo State is the closest with the largest amount of land. Number two, Oyo State is connected to Lagos now by railway. Railway is the cheapest form of transportation, of land transportation in the world. Number three, Oyo State is the very first state in Nigeria to own and roll out an ICT-based agro-input program to help farmers with modern farm inputs to increase their productivity. You can see, Your Excellency, there are indeed many reasons for Oyo State to become the foremost agribusiness hub in sub-Saharan Africa in a matter of a few years. I bring you 5 ideas from your brother and the president of the bank, Dr. Adesina. You know his passion is agriculture. As the DG said, he was the Minister of Agriculture here, and his policies transformed agriculture. He has 5 messages for you. Number one, competitive agriculture. You have to be competitive. Number two, cluster all the stakeholders in the ecosystem into one, not necessarily geographical, but into one unit. Number two, other countries. You must attract other countries. I'm happy that the Ambassador of Australia is here. Number 4, capacity. The DG talked about that. You must build local capacity. And then number 5, climate adaptation. It's real. The climate is changing. We need to adapt to it. I'll go very quickly over the 5 messages. First of all, competitive agriculture. If Oyo State is going to capture the Lagos market, it must be competitive with the alternatives that serve that market. The DG talked about rice. Rice comes from India. India has yields of 4 to 5 tons of rice. We must be competitive crops, livestock yields wise. The reason why crop and livestock yields are low in Oyo State and in Nigeria is farmers cannot afford the high quality inputs, fertilizers and seeds is required to raise productivity. Oyo State is already on the right path. Digital platforms to reach farmers with inputs. You need to expand it and make it a law. I'm happy the Deputy Speaker is here. Farmers must be put at the center of agriculture in Oyo State. Secondly, the e-wallet that you have launched here requires a steady supply of new technologies. I'm happy Dr. Sanyenga is here. They lead the bank's Technologies for African Agricultural Transformation, or TAT. This program accesses the best climate-adapted technologies of crops and livestock and fisheries, and then creates the seed system. You need to bulk up early generation seeds and certified seeds of these technologies to reach millions of farmers. They create the seed systems, and also they create the advisory systems to get them to the hands of farmers to raise productivity. I'll give you an example. TAT helped Sudan to produce 65,000 tons of certified seeds of 5 heat-tolerant varieties that can grow at 40 degrees Celsius during the heat season. Sudan planted those seeds on 317,000 hectares of land and doubled their wheat production. They went from 24% to 50% of self-sufficiency in wheat production. We can be competitive if we turn non-consumers of inputs, our farmers are currently non-consumers, turn them into consumers and create a market-driven input system here in Oyo State. Number 2, cluster. I used to live in Latin America. I lived in Latin America for 15 years. And there's a saying that I like very much. The best fertilizer for a crop is a market. If you want farmers to invest in inputs, if you want farmers to increase their productivity, you need to make sure they have a market to sell when they harvest their crops. The market could be a wholesaler, it could be agricultural, it could be agro-processing plants, it could be a primary processing plant, whatever it is. We have to attract the market close to our farmers by clustering agricultural production, aggregation, processing, service providers in the same vicinity. Attract them through incentives of infrastructure and logistics, incentives of laboratory, cold chains, incentives of business services that will bring them into the same location where our farmers also produce. The African Development Bank has launched what we call the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones, the flagship of its Feed Africa initiative that helps to cluster industrial-scale agro-processing and agricultural production in the same spatial location. The AFDB is already implementing SAPZs, as we call it, in 8 countries, and I also have Dr. Odulame with us here. He's the SAPZ advisor to the bank. I'm pleased to announce that in Nigeria, the bank has mobilized $520 million for the first phase of the SAPZ program. I'm also pleased to announce that Oyo State is one of the 8 states participating in this first phase. The Ijaye Agro-Processing Industrial Hub in Oyo State will cluster farmers, processors, and service providers for industrial-scale processing of cassava, rice, and soybean. I'm also pleased to hear, Your Excellency, that 50 aggregation centers have also been designed to aggregate produce for the SAPZ in Oyo State. Your Excellency, I invite you to see an existing SAPZ. There is no magic about it. Right here in Togo, Arise SCZ, which is also Olam, has set up the industrial platform of Adeti Kokwe, and a public-private partnership that actually helps to process soybean and cotton into higher value products. I invite you to visit and see what the Ijaya SAPZ will be in the future. It is not too far to dream that in the next 2 years we'll have something similar here in Oyo State. A last word on clustering. In addition to the SAPZs, you need to transport a large part of your production out of the state. Oyo State is blessed with a railway line and a dry port now at Monia. I encourage the government to acquire land along the railways and around the dry port and concession them to wholesalers of food, concession them to agribusiness and other large users of grains and agricultural products. I also think Oyo State should consider a wholesale market around Monia. Think of Mile 12, but modern and much better, around the Monia dry port, so that big aggregators, big processors, big traders can all go there, have stores in the wholesale markets, and the farmers can go there immediately. This is how Brazil combated high food prices and created an incredible agribusiness. In the 1970s, the government of Brazil built this large wholesale market. If you go to Brazil today, every major city has a large wholesale market. It's vast. And the one near Sao Paulo actually occupies more than 200 hectares. It's really very big. I encourage the state government to think of something like that for the dry port at Monia. The third C, countries, other countries. It was Paul Collier, the professor of economics at Oxford University, that said, Africa is chronically short, not of capital, but of firms, lots of companies. Africa abounds in micro enterprises which are very romantic, but they cannot perform the miracle of rapidly increasing productivity. Modern firms create productive jobs and increase productivity by harnessing the powers of scale and specialization. I'm glad to see the ambassador of Australia here. Oyo State needs to attract investors from these countries into its agribusiness hubs. Oyo State cannot be left behind. Ogun State, your neighboring state, I know already have at least 10 Chinese companies doing starch, doing cardboard, doing all kinds of things, bringing investments, know-how, creating impact at the producer level. I encourage you to take advantage of the AFDB's roadshow to engage different countries. We met with the Chinese French embassy about 2 weeks ago. I can see Sonia is here also today. Yeah, we are trying to go do roadshows to meet and engage with the private sector in these countries and attract them, understand their needs and understand the requirements for them to come into the space. The fourth C is capacity. I'm not going to speak so much because the DG has already mentioned that. Modern agriculture is science. It is crop management science. It is soil science. It is finance. It is mechanization. We cannot expect to have a modern agricultural sector based upon the current cadre of farmers we have. We have to create a new cadre. I'm pleased that Oyo State has embarked on several initiatives. The DG talked about the STEP. I know you have the Agri-Business Incubation Center, but I encourage you, when these people graduate, they need to be mentored. It is important to attach them to existing successful agribusinesses to help them continue to succeed even as they try to find their feet in a new sector. Lastly, climate change. Climate change is a reality African farmers live with. Most people here will remember in 2020, the rain stopped early. And if you look at the data from insurance companies, farmers lost 30% of their production. Climate change is real. Although Africa accounts for only 4% of global carbon emission, temperatures in Africa are expected to rise much faster than global averages. and many of the world's most climate vulnerable countries are here in Africa. Global warming and extreme weather will intensify for the next 20 to 30 years if the world does not get to zero emission quickly. Oyo State must climate-proof its agriculture. You must adopt climate-adapted technologies. Dr. Sanginga here can give you the best drought-tolerant maize varieties. Cassava, we know, does very well against drought. And also flood-tolerant rice. You need these varieties to help our farmers still harvest a decent crop in the face of rains that fail. Also, weather-based insurance. Farmers need to be compensated when the weather fails. Farmers who are connected to weather-based insurance last year were compensated, but not everybody got that money. There are companies like Pula that can actually reach out to and help Oyo State. Lastly, simple things like weather prediction. There are weather services now that you can, by cell phone, get information on when it's going to rain, when it's not going to rain. In conclusion, Your Excellency, you'll be remembered for many things in Oyo State, including the simple reforms that you have done to change people's lives. But one thing you'll be remembered for by farmers is leading the way on the development of Oyo State as an agri-business hub in Nigeria. With sharp focus, relentless execution, fairness, public accountability, and transparency, I'm sure you will succeed for a much better and economically stronger Oyo State. Thank you and God bless.
Can we please put our hands together for Dr. Fregene one more time? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still making progress with the Oyo Agri-Business Summit 2021. And at this time, I'm about to respectfully invite and welcome a distinguished personality, a man committed to excellence and diligence in service. Ladies and gentlemen, is making the agribusiness industry in Oyo State the biggest in sub-Saharan Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, is a man of excellence, the God-sent man himself. Please put your hands together as I respectfully invite and welcome His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, as he comes forward for his address. Please put your hands together for Engineer Seyi Makinde, the Governor of Oyo State, as he comes forward to give his address. Please put your hands together for him and don't stop clapping till he begins his speech. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Please be seated. Thank you. Well, I don't know whether I should also stand on the existing protocol. Well, I won't be able to get away easily with that, so I have to mention some names. Your Excellency, the High Commissioner of Australia to Nigeria, John Donnelly, and your lovely wife. I especially thank you for identifying with us in Oyo State and for being a part of this summit. The Honorable Speaker, Oyo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Debo Ogundoyin, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Mohammed Fatih. Also here, a former Speaker, a former Senator, and my own distinguished sister, Senator Monsurat Sumonu. The Chairman of Oyo State House of Assembly Committee on Agric, Honorable Peter Ojedoku, you also recognized. The President of African Development Bank, Dr. Adewumi Adeshina, ably represented by Dr. Fregene. The Chief of Staff, the Head of Service, Chairman, Oyo State Advisory Council, Senator Osea Ayola Agbola, and my own brother from Fashola, the Director General of International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. Well, now I'll say Dr. Ntaraya Saginga, but by 11th of December, he'll be chief, so I'll be calling Chief Saginga at that time. Other distinguished diplomats from various countries of the world that have joined us and that are listening to us. The Honorable Commissioner for Agric and Rural Development, Honorable Adeni Adevisi, other Honorable Commissioners in the Cabinet of Oyo State Government that are present here, the Director General OISADA, Dr. Debo Akande, other political functionaries present, permanent secretaries, heads of non-ministerial departments and agencies. Well, I also want to specially thank the heads of financial institutions that joined us here, Dr. Adedunton, Mr. Ademola Adebishe, Wema Bank, MD. I'm also a Wema Pekin. My father worked with Wema Bank so many years ago. Also Dr. Ken Opara, Fidelity Bank, and the rep of UBA. Well, distinguished experts and professionals in various fields that are here present, all the partners and stakeholders that are here to grace this all-important occasion, all gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Well, I can see still the chairman of our great party, PDP, Alhaji Omokunmi Mustafa. I'm sure you have interest in agribusiness as well. So when you stop running the party, I'll see you at your farm. So let me formally welcome you all to the Oyo State Agribusiness Summit. Well, there are two things that I was going to do this morning, but I chose not to, and I'm quite glad that I chose not to. First, I've been in Abuja trying to work with a team to put together a national convention for our party this coming weekend. It's a big deal. It's a national convention, it's a national assignment, and a lot of things are going into it. And I thought, well, with the amount of work that I have to do, that I have going in there, maybe I should join this conference via Zoom. With the glitches that we've witnessed, I think everybody will have been very angry with me at the end of the day. So I'm kind of glad that I chose to come personally, you know, be in your midst, and then run away immediately after this. The other thing that I thought I was going to do was to wear a suit. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been mistaken for another of the MDs of these financial institutions. I'm actually making a presentation. It's not just a speech. So I've chosen to title the presentation Re-Engineering Agribusiness Development in Oyo State. I didn't choose re-engineering because I'm an engineer. I chose it because when we came in, you know, like Dr. Saginga showed us, you've seen some before and after pictures of what we met. So before this administration, some administrations said they were the architects of modern Oyo State. So we looked at the word architect. Architect, they just make the drawings. They don't build anything. So for us, we want to re-engineer a new Oyo State. We want to build it. And then that's what we're going to do with agribusiness. So in this presentation, I'll be answering two very important questions. One, why should you invest in agribusiness in Oyo State? It's important for you to know. And two, what are the agribusiness opportunities, investment opportunities that are available in Oyo State? Well, let me answer the first question from a historical perspective. Oyo State is known for some of Nigeria's developmental firsts, including the one-time tallest building in Nigeria, Cocoa House. It's probably about maybe 6 or 7 kilometers from where we are right now. So I referenced Cocoa House, and you can see the building, because its very existence highlights Oyo State's strength in agricultural production. This emphasis on production continued as succeeding governments remained fixated on production and export. Nigeria's pride was in being the largest exporter of cocoa, cotton, groundnut, and other commercial crops. This was before the advent of crude oil. Yet, for agriculture to lift people out of poverty into prosperity, we needed to stop thinking of agriculture only as a tool for rural development and start thinking about it as a business. So we developed Oyo State a roadmap to accelerated development, 2019 to 2023. And I'm glad that the individual that championed that effort, he didn't know I was going to be a governor then. I was a candidate running for election, and I put the team together, and we worked on it. We developed that roadmap, and we sold it to the people of Oyo State. Well, that individual is here, right in front of me. He's now the Oyo State Commissioner for Economic Planning, Budget and Economic Planning, Professor Babatunde, Musiba Babatunde. The understanding of that roadmap essentially informed our decision to make agriculture one of the main drivers of the Oyo State economy between 2019 and 2023. So how should this information affect your investment decision? Well, in clear terms, our administration did not stumble onto the decision of re-engineering agribusiness development in Oyo State and transforming the state from a sleepy agrarian community into a thriving agribusiness hub. Our efforts are a result of careful planning and strategic thinking. And this is why we offer unbeatable incentives to invest in agribusiness in Oyo State. What have we done? First, we created OISADA, Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency. This is to serve as the vehicle for driving agribusiness development. This has eliminated the administrative bottlenecks that prevent private investors from communicating directly with public office holders. And I make bold to say, we chose a gentleman, an individual that I can say in agribusiness on this continent, if he's not number one, he will be amongst the first 10. And that is Dr. Debo Akande. Well, of course, OISADA, you know, if you look at their logo, you see that they meant business as far as agribusiness is concerned. And one of the products of OISADA is actually this summit that we are all seated in. So they put all of this together. So this summit is an opportunity for us to showcase the investment potentials of Oyo State. Also, we have a chance to come up with more ways to incentivize local and international partners and investors to keep choosing Oyo State. Well, I'll be sharing the incentives the Oyo State government offers investors. But before I do that, let me talk about some of the comparative and competitive advantages that Oyo State offers. And I'm sure Dr. Fregene, because you basically pulled that out from the advices that you gave to us, that we have to be competitive. Well, I'll be sharing some of the things that we feel give Oyo State not just competitive but comparative advantage over other places. One of the strongest factors that supports large-scale agribusiness production is the availability of arable land. Over 60% of Oyo State's 28,500 square kilometers of land is suitable for agriculture. I always say that the entire 5 southeast Nigerian states can fit nicely into Oyo State. If we live here now and we're going to Kishi, with super road, you still spend at least 3 hours to get there. With the manageable road that we have right now, you spend 6 hours to get there. So we also have a combination of dry and wet seasons that create a suitable climate for tree and food crops production and support poultry and livestock farming. When we came in, we went for, I think it was in Republic of Benin. We went for a brainstorming session. We brought agri-experts all over. And then the permanent secretary, Ministry of Agri then, this was just, we were barely maybe 3 or 4 months in office. He said Oyo State is the largest producer of cassava in Nigeria. And I said to him that, did we attain that position by some deliberate actions or efforts? And he said, well, not really. We just let the farmers do their thing. So we are moving towards deliberate efforts, deliberate policies to stimulate agribusiness in Oyo State. And additionally, we have abundant freshwater sources and about 3,000 hectares of artificial lakes, giving us a competitive advantage in fish farming. Oyo State is at the center of Nigeria's agribusiness corridor. The state is the entryway to northern Nigeria. For most of southwest Nigeria, we're also very centralized. We're already building on this advantage by constructing 4 bus terminals in Ibadan at Challenge, Ojo, Iwo Road, and New Ife Road. As you also, Dr. Fregene mentioned it, we have in view the construction of the 80,000 TEU per annum capacity by the inland dry port. There's already a standard gauge rail, linking Ibadan to Apapa Port in Lagos. So you can import goods by sea through the Lagos seaport without wasting all the man hours in the perennial Apapa gridlock. And we are getting ahead of the game by ensuring that our rail corridor is designated as a special economic zone. So the network of roads in there will be implemented before the trailer starts coming in there to block the entire place up. And when you say 8,000 TEU, in practical terms, this is like 80,000 20-feet containers going through that port annually. And if I do just a small mental calculation, because I tried import business before, it didn't work out, I failed there. You pay about $3,000 for a 20-feet container, to haul it around. And $3,000 times 80,000, that is about $240 million in terms of just pushing the containers around. Not the content, not the people that are going to add value to what we are doing out there. Also, if your logistics involves air travel, well, we also have that covered. Work is ongoing to upgrade the Ibadan Airport to international and cargo airport status. We're building a 500,000-liter aviation fuel facility to better position Oyo State as a regional air transport hub. Of course, the infrastructure already mentioned is supported by an emerging efficient road network systems. Well, we have the political will. So we are accomplishing things people thought were impossible. For example, within our first 2 years in office, we reconstructed the Moniya-Ijaye-Isheyin Road, a 65-kilometer road which links our food basket, Okeogun, and the state capital. And I used to travel on that road. I traveled on the road during my campaign. We used to spend 3 hours minimum from Moniya to Isheyin. Now it takes 40 minutes to accomplish that. Also, we have started reconstructing the 34.85 kilometers Oyo-Isheyin Road, which provides a critical economic link to the Fashola Agri-Business Industrial Hub. The Oyo-Ishanyi Road also links with the dual carriageway connecting Ibadan to Lagos and also Ibadan to Ilorin and then the northern part of the country. And I'm glad that Dr. Sagiga just mentioned, we were there together. Yes, it took us some time. Now the work is not even 20% done. What you saw that cut down the travel time to just about 20 minutes is just the grading of the road. Now they're going to put asphalt, and it's going to be like Monia to Ishayi Road. So at that point, we'll probably have to put speed brakes. Well, let me also mention that we have re-awarded the 110 kilometers Ibadan Circular Road, which will ease connectivity to the Southwest Economic Hub. Once you get on that road, it takes you a fraction of the time that you need now to go towards Ife or to go towards Lagos.
3 buses that are out there, so each and every one of us, we have opportunity to join. We encourage that so that you can leave your cars behind and come back. But if you want to use your car, no problem. But we appreciate there's enough spaces in the bus. Please, if you can be in the bus, interact, share your cards with someone, that will be very helpful. After the exhibition, we will proceed for lunch at iHouse. iHouse is just over there. We will have lunch. We expect that all of us will reconverge by 2:30 p.m. in this hall for very important discussions on the opportunities and how we are going to take advantage of these opportunities. Tomorrow will be an award night. Please don't leave. We encourage our colleagues from Lagos. Please take a break. Enjoy the serendipity on the IITA campus. Enjoy the ambience before you go back to Lagos. With this, I would like to invite His Excellency and members of the very high table, the front row, to lead the way to the exhibition ground before the rest of us will join them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Picture with the Excellency will just take a picture with the VIPs in front. You know.
All right.
Yeah, quickly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency is going to take pictures with our VIPs here in front. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. The picture will be taken on the elevated platform. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to remind us that after the exhibition, we are going to have lunch, and by 2:30 we'll have to come back here for other segments of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, we are taking the picture on the elevated platform with His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State. Thank you very much. Our distinguished personalities, it is time for a photo session with His Excellency, the Governor. Can we please join His Excellency on the elevated platform? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'd like us also to know that we have buses to convey us to the exhibition ground, and these same buses will bring us back for lunch, and then we'll converge again by 2:30 for other segments of this event. I'd like us to know that we are still going to have presentations on investment opportunities here in Oyo State. We are also going to have panel sessions where we'll be discussing topical issues that have to do with agribusiness here at the Oyo Agribusiness Summit 2021. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for being a part of this. Thank you very much for adding value to Oyo State. Thank you very much for making Oyo State the agribusiness hub, not just within Nigeria, but in sub-Saharan Africa. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Hope to see you at 2:30 here in this hall, just after exhibition and after lunch. Thank you very much, and see you very soon. Thank you.
ṣé tiwa lélẹ̀ yìí sísà?
You send them to me, right?